Hello and welcome back to Stream On. I am Hollis. With me, as always, is Eila. Hello, Eila.
Well, hello there.
Today we are jumping into a TV series, one of the biggest TV series of the 70s. When I was a little kid, I could not believe that Telly Savalas was not the biggest star on the planet and that I'd see him every decade after that.
Really?
But yeah, but we are talking about the New York City police procedural Kojak.
So I am new to Kojak. I didn't know it as a kid. So I just started watching it maybe a year or two ago, and only because I love that. Well, I love that 70s New York, that grittiness. So I figured that would be a way to see something new because I've seen, like Eyes of Laura Mars a zillion times, and
Oh
a lot
God,
of
yeah.
things that take place in that era in New York. Yeah, so I'm relatively new. So the fact that Telly Savalas wasn't the major star, I think the only other thing I ever saw him in was an episode of Alice.
Right. And Battle of the Network Stars he was on.
Oh, was he a
Uh,
regular on that?
he was like doing on mic work with Howard Cosell for a while because he was too old to compete at that point.
Probably younger than we think, just based on, how people looked back then.
I don't know. He had a life before he got in front of the camera. He was a producer. He was like,
Really?
I think he had a hand in like sports production, like way back.
Oh,
So
I had no.
yeah, he's older. I think that's part of the reason that he went ahead and just shaved his whole head bald. So he could maybe even play younger, skew younger.
Oh, maybe.
Um, but yeah, so I think that's the reason that he was, he had such gravitas on that show, as he really was an older guy. You say he was new to you. It'll probably shock the few people that know me who are listening that Kojak was new to me. It was not one of my shows growing up. I knew him. I thought he was like funny. I liked that he sucked lollipops because I loved lollipops as a kid. I should have at some point fallen into it, but I think I had the wrong idea about Kojak. I thought it was kind of gimmicky and, the bald head and the lollipops. I didn't think it was. So I was a Columbo guy.
Uh-huh.
And I just dropped an episode on Columbo on Pop Culture Graveyard.
I listened to it. It's great.
Thank you.
Everybody should listen to it. It's so good.
Yes, please, everyone listen. But I'm so funny and I'm so weird about these things. I didn't even see a connection of that we're doing Kojak and I had just done Columbo and I didn't mention to you. By the way, I'm doing Columbo on the other thing. I don't see them as anything alike, even though they were both kind of universal shows.
That's so funny because when you suggested it to me, a day after, I was going to say to you, well, Columbo's your show. Why don't we do that instead? And I just didn't. I figured you wanted to do Kojak. So now
Yeah,
I know.
well, I wanted to do Kojak because it was a rare thing where you and I came to it together
Yeah.
and had only seen it this year, right?
It's so weird. Yeah.
It's so weird, but I watched, from season 1 all the way through season 5, I think, like every episode. And like you, I loved being in the bad old days of NYC.
A time capsule.
It's such a great time capsule. It really is. And the squad room looks a lot like the Barney Miller squad room. What's funny about these shows, like Kojak and Barney Miller and so many other things, watching every season, I was kind of taken by how many tropes all of these shows tackled, like the same thing. Like, oh, there's a lady in the squad room. It's a lady cop, or a suspect got off because his rights were violated, or there's a mad bomber on the loose, or the DA is running for office and he needs this conviction. And then it dawned on me, they're not copying each other. These were the headlines of the day.
Yeah.
These issues were everywhere and new laws were being passed and like things were in the news and they were acting on it, and I'm so removed from it today that I'm just like, ugh, Barney Miller did that. What are you doing? But
Well, we've seen so much television since then,
we
but
have.
television had only been around for, a relatively short time at that point.
Yeah, it's funny to think of that like sound pictures have only
Yeah.
been around for 100 years. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. So I started with episode 1. I started with the pilot.
Mhm.
Now rewatching it for this because I really didn't remember much of anything. And it was so funny because I had been watching this documentary about, well, several things, but Kent State was one, and then there was Martin Scorsese and Harvey Keitel at NYU at protesting, and then
Wow.
Harvey Keitel was in the pilot around that
Yeah.
same time.
It's
It was
it's a
crazy.
two-parter, if I recall, the hostage
Right,
one.
right. It could have been a movie.
Well, it's funny you say that because that pilot, the de facto pilot, was actually preceded a couple of years by a pilot movie for Kojak
Oh,
that was called the Marcus Nelson Murders. And that movie pilot is super gritty. It's set in the 60s, and it's a brilliant movie about a real case called the Career Girl Murders. There was a suspect, and the police coerced the suspect. And it's the treatment of the suspect by the cops in that was one of the many cases that eventually gave us Miranda rights.
oh no.
Yeah, so it was like a real thing. But Kojak is the lead character in that movie.
I see.
So it was funny because the Keitel pilot totally mirrors all the other episodes. But much like Columbo, there was a movie before it, or two movies in Columbo's case.
What's so different about Kojak is that, each script really is almost, well, not like a play, just because a lot of it is outside and stuff, but the scenes are longer than scenes that we watch now. I mean, all TV in the 70s, just had, it was like meteor for actors. There was more to do, less, now
Yeah.
scenes are very quick. We don't have the attention span that we did, but, it was almost like a play in the way it was written.
Yeah, it's true. They were all one acts kind of. And also, I think there were less commercials, I think, in general, than we have today, and certainly less annoying commercials. I remember it as such a more pleasurable experience because, we stream, I assume you stream these the same way I did on Tubi,
Mhm.
which, by the way, we can talk about Tubi. It's a, it's really doing the Lord's work. It's a reliquary of such weird stuff all
No, you
thrown
can't.
together.
Anything that I can't find anywhere else, I find on Tubi.
That's it.
But here's the thing that made me crazy this time around. Anytime there was a break, it was the same commercial for this Republican
Oh god.
woman
Oh.
who's complaining about the illegals. It was so annoying to have to listen to that over and over and
Oh, I'm
over.
so
It was
lucky.
hard
I'm
to
much
watch.
luckier than you. I guess maybe it's based on like where we live or something. Because I
Oh,
kept get I kept getting the recruitment ads for the New York Corrections Department.
oh, that's 100% better than what I have. You
Well,
get this material every 15 minutes.
it's 100% better in some ways, but it's got this song, and it's
Oh,
like it's almost like this hip hop beat. It's just, serve with a purpose. And it's all about like, if I could make a difference in someone's life. I'm like, dude, you're gonna be slamming guys against walls and throwing them in cells.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it gets a lot. And Geico ads. There's
Oh,
it's the Geico Gecko like 100 times
really?
every episode. Yeah, it's really
Oh, no.
bad.
I was exclusively this one angry with it was horrible.
Are you on a mailing list or something? How did they get?
I can't imagine. It's so counter to
Oh,
anything that comes up in my
right.
anywhere else. It's so weird.
Oh, that's brutal. I feel for you. It's like that car commercial that just kills me where never ever stop being American. I just want to take a
Uh,
hostage anytime that I think it's Ram. Yeah, it's terrible. Anyway.
that was the only unpleasant thing. But so
Okay.
it's my thing. As now I know that this is a great show. I recognize it. I didn't think it was a lot of fun to watch, to be honest.
Mm. Well, I think the thing you were saying how people don't have an attention span today. People also they don't want realistic endings anymore. They don't
Yeah.
want endings where like, yeah, and then she died. The hooker was killed. Like
All
it's
right.
like, oh my god, you killed her. Oh my god, you killed him. Like invariably, I'd say 80% of the shows end in a death of a character that you actually liked.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know? And so I think it leaves a taste in your mouth where you're just like, yeah, I don't know if I need to go on this ride again.
Right. It's a hard binge just because, it can be a little bit depressing after a while. It's fun to watch a couple, and then after that it's like, nothing.
Yeah. Well, a couple of things kept me going. The time machine aspect kept me going because I'm locked in to that just and seeing the storefront, and at one point I was watching one episode and they're on Third Avenue and he's in a bar. He's sitting there and behind him I see a Gristides and I'm like, oh,
Oh,
I just went there yesterday.
that's crazy.
Yeah, and it's still there, and the bar was still there. It's just closed like a couple of weeks ago, but I like the landmark aspect of it and Telly's performance. Everything from the way that he washes his face in the sink and wears his little gold chains to the way he pronounces certain things like cockroach. He gives extra syllables to things
Yeah.
and he talks sometimes like really he says sing-songy things to guys and like it's very almost effeminate at times to make a comment on something and I don't know he's a fascinating weird contraption, this
And no
character.
one has really replicated that character. There's 100 Columbos, but there's really only him.
Yeah,
It's,
you're right.
we don't see that character ever again, I think.
No, also because he was an authentic NYC animal and they
Mm.
just don't exist anymore. He brought an ethnicity to it. He was a Greek American. And so there was that. And he was constantly like going to his cousin's wedding. And there was, he was in church for a christening. And they like pumped a lot of his personal stuff into it
And
in a
wasn't
way
his
that
brother in the cast too?
his brother's in the cast. His brother is the character Stavros, the curly-haired, heavy-set guy. And the funny thing is, the first couple, because I came to it cold, the first couple of seasons, maybe 3 seasons, one of the cast members, as the names come up in the credits, is Demosthenes or something. And I was like, who's going by that? And I'm like, oh, it's got to be the wiry-haired guy. And I'm like, Kojak or Telly on set talk to that character like he talks to no one else. He's always teasing him. He's tapping his belly. He calls him fatso.
Uh-huh.
He's making fun of him. He's rubbing his head.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this? And then so I looked him up. I'm like, Demo Stephanie's. And I'm like, AKA George
George
Savalas.
Wallace, yeah.
I'm like, fuck yeah. But I think he was like, I don't want people to think I got this through my brother.
Although
Was,
he must have, because I never saw him on anything else ever.
right. He was an acting teacher for
Huh.
years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Why did it stop after Kojak? Did he
I
just
don't,
make Kojak money and he was done?
I think because he already had a family and he was older, and I'm sure Kojak money is good money,
That's good.
especially in the
Right.
70s.
I know. That kind of money doesn't exist anymore for actors. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So another thing that I really like, the most fun part of it to me, besides, seeing actual New York City, is the guest stars. So Harvey Keitel, episode 1. I think Michael Sarrazin was in one. I mean, there's so many people who don't do TV.
Right. They even had one that was so clearly a backdoor pilot starring Vincent Gardenia as a gritty detective in Vegas.
Right.
And they filmed Telly like 3 or 4 times on the phone to him.
Right.
And the rest of it was all Vincent Gardenia all the time.
I guess that didn't go. My
Yeah.
favorite backdoor pilot of all is the Brady Bunch with,
Oh,
Dwayne,
with,
Steve, and all of those kids.
yeah, with Ken Berry.
Yes.
And Mike Lookinland's brother played one of the
Right.
kids.
That's right.
Yeah, so good. We got to do the Brady Bunch at some point. Did you
Oh,
do it already?
we did it on Jiffy Pop Culture, but
Did you do the Christmas special?
no,
Maybe we'll do that for Christmas.
that would be amazing. I mean, there's Brady Bunch.
Yeah, anything Brady Bunch, I'll
Still
do.
like the Brady Bunch? Probably not.
You know what? We got to get them into the Brady Bunch.
I know.
We'll fight the good fight.
I mean, I grew up feeling like I had missed out on so much because I didn't have a life like the Brady Bunch.
Me too. I thought everything would be set if I had, those young, cool parents and that affluent life.
Right. Right. I didn't have a backyard. I lived in an apartment.
Yeah.
I came home alone every day. You
Yeah.
know, my parents were working. I felt like, if only.
Right. I wouldn't have a toilet, but I'd make it work.
That's right.
I'd
Well,
make,
they did have a bathroom, though.
they did. I could get clean after, but
That's right. And you could enter it from like different rooms. How did they not walk in on each other constantly?
yeah, that is a Jack and Jill bathroom, they call
Yes.
that.
And the father was an architect. That's really bad planning.
That's the best part. He was an architect. He didn't think
Actually, brothers and sisters, things
six
get
kids.
a little touchy.
Yeah, that's crazy. And
Yeah.
I'll bet Alice had her own bathroom down there
Oh, yeah, in her dungeon.
in her dungeon. It's great. Sleep behind the oven.
So my favorite thing is that in the reunions of Very Brady Christmas,
Hmm.
they have a uniform waiting for Alice when she comes back after being there like ever.
Ah, see, we got to do that. We got to do that one.
They did her like family, but they never
Like,
actual family.
yeah, like is underlined.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Even though she was there before Carol, she was with the men.
Well, you know what? She knows why the caged bird sings. She loves the uniform. It helps
That's
her
right.
to get through life.
That's how she copes.
Yeah. Uh, all right, Kojak.
All right, we're going off the rails. I'm sorry.
Do you have a favorite episode?
I don't, because I don't feel like I've seen enough of them to have a favorite. Do you?
I have a favorite.
Okay, tell me.
It stars one of my all-time favorite women. She's on the all-time list, laminated, Carol Lynley.
Oh, okay.
And the same episode features Christopher Walken.
How does it get better than that?
Carol Lynley is operating as a lookout for a couple of thieves who are robbing fur coats, one of which is Christopher Walken. He gets in a shootout with Bobby, the young cop on the show, Kevin Dobson, later of Knots Landing. I always confuse them. And Carol Lynley, yeah, Carol Lynley gets a bullet in the back and is crippled. And Bobby and her fall in love. It's great. That's my favorite episode. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, there's a lot there.
There's a lot there. Your lady who you love, Judith Light, is in one.
Oh, yes, you showed me. I didn't see her episode though.
Oh,
but yes,
you got to watch it. Great hair, great acting. Just good episode.
No female cops, right? Ever?
Joan Van Ark
Oh.
played a lady detective who was in charge of sexual assault division. She was kind of shanghaied to work under Kojak, who she hates. And the two of them don't like each other. They were butting heads through the whole thing, trying to catch this guy who was either raping or murdering nurses.
Was it just one episode that she was on, or was she on?
Yeah, one episode. But she was great, as usual.
Yeah.
Wasn't she another Knots Landing person?
Yes, she was.
There it is.
Valine.
Oh, nice. Great hair. I just remember her from Battle of the Network Stars. And my favorite line Howard Cosell ever uttered on that, Joan Van Ark is out of the kayak. So.
I mean, that show was brilliant. Come on.
Oh, magical.
The kid, there was no greater thrill. They tried to replicate it with Circus.
Circus of the Stars.
Yeah, that was lame. But Battle of the Network Stars, that was something.
It will not surprise you to know that I have every episode and year on DVD.
You do? Oh,
yeah. So we have to have a watch party sometime.
Oh my, I'm in.
Okay, great.
It'd be so boring now, but back then, what a thrill.
Forget about watching Gabe Kaplan smoke Robert Conrad in the 40-yard dash runoff. Come on.
So I heard that that was he had hair plugs or a toupee or something, Gabe Kaplan. I had no idea. And that's why he would never get in the water and do any kind of water sports.
Oh, that's funny. You know what? It makes sense because in his later life as a poker enthusiast, I'm like, oh, I thought he had more hair.
Ah,
So it makes total. And now that you mention it, on the Murder She Wrote, he's totally wearing a rug. It looks
really?
comically like a Brillo pad. He almost looks like Stavros on Kojak.
He and Epstein kind of had the same hairdo.
Please excuse Gabe from shooting today. He lost his toupee, signed Epstein's mother. I have an Epstein doll, which won't surprise you.
Oh,
All
that
of these things have to move with me in my next move. It's
does,
terrible.
well,
I
will Epstein make the cut in the move?
don't know. He may get out of it. He may have a note. I may have to gift you Epstein to get him out of it.
Well, you should
Um,
know that there's this museum in Rochester called the Strong, and it's all toys, all vintage toys. So I
yeah.
don't know if you're looking for donations, but
Oh, wow. That'd be a good
very much.
place. Yeah, I might do that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
back to Kojak.
Yeah.
So I think that it was so well written that it almost hurts it today, right? Because it's like you said, people weren't, nothing was like audience tested. You know how they have these focus groups now? It wouldn't have passed any focus groups back then.
No. I think it's one of those deals where like it's the vision of a person. It's Abby Mann created it, and he's best known for writing the screenplay to Judgment at Nuremberg.
Oh,
Like
okay.
he's a serious kind
Yeah.
of writer. He wrote the pilot movie, and he knew a real detective. He changed the name to Kojak, but it's based on a real guy, and we almost got Marlon Brando for it.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, he wanted Brando, and Brando was down, and Universal put the kibosh on it. They were like, "No, you can't use him." And
Why?
The Godfather hadn't come out yet.
Oh, okay.
He
So
was
his
just
career
seen as a
was
troublemaker and over
right.
the hill, and like
He probably would have been trouble to have a consistent series with him. They probably weren't wrong about that.
it would have run for a season, and that would have been
Right. And that's it. It might have
it.
been brilliant, but
Yeah, they had a
right.
chance to lock him in right before The Godfather. Can you believe? But anyway, I my point is that he's based on a real detective, and I think just like in movies, like Steve McQueen is Bullet, based on Dave Toschi. Like when you start with a real person, you kind of are able to lock in this kind of insular vision, whereas it's like that statement that a camel is a horse drawn by committee. Like when it's one person's vision,
Yeah.
it's so much easier to put it out. But you're right, focus groups were the death of so many shows, and they call it retooling,
Yeah.
and they'll go off for a half a season, or while they're on hiatus, they come back with different characters. And it's like, what even is this now?
Right. I
So
signed up for one thing. I don't want this.
yeah,
So
you
few shows are able to survive that.
it's true. Yeah, so Kevin Dobson, who plays Bobby Crocker,
Yeah.
who is always like, he's fallen in love with different people, and it's like she's a hooker. Like Savalas always has to rein him in because he's
Yeah.
young. He's like the callow youth. But Kevin Dobson is so good as this character, and he takes all of the storylines that Kojak can't have because he's over the hill
Hmm.
for it. Like he's just, he falls in love with the young ingenue, or he's looking after a kid, or he's. I really think Crocker is the one that kids would identify with,
Really?
and I think so. I think adults watching the show identified with Kojak, but I think this was one of those first shows that kind of was like, well, that you can't just have that character. Let's get somebody for the ladies and for the kids, and get the young guy, because I think coming out of the hippie '60s, they wanted some youth on the show.
That's interesting to hear because watching it now, from today's perspective, I don't see a big age difference. Like same age to me.
Yeah,
Funny. But Kojak had a pretty hot girlfriend. He had this flight attendant who didn't seem to be his age.
right. Well, first of all, Kevin Dobson doesn't read as young because no one's an adult today.
Right. That's right.
That's everyone's a kid
Yeah.
and wants to stay one or wants to look like one.
But
But
you now look younger than Kevin Dobson did on that show.
well, that's sweet of you because I'm sure I'm older than he was.
But I
We
think
know
also,
that.
like he was wearing suits every day. And, it's just people were more formal.
Yeah, when they hit like 25, it was like, what are you doing? Put on a suit, be an adult. Like,
Right. Yeah. How are you not married with kids?
right.
So I didn't even realize that that was happening, that, he was the hot young guy. That was lost on
Really?
me. Maybe at
That's,
the time, people got that.
yeah. Well, how do you think he got Knots Landing? You
Yeah, I
know?
didn't think about it. I was so naive back
You was
then.
like, uh,
And on
uh,
Knots Landing, he was not a young guy. He was,
right,
to me,
right.
as a kid watching that, he looked like an old guy.
He wore a rug during that. He had more hair on Knots Landing than he
I
did at the
know.
end of Kojak.
Oh, that's
I
crazy
think
how that
I
happened.
think people forget just how much wig work went into the old shows, like
I
Bill
think they never
Shatner
really
and
do. Yes. I don't think people were aware enough of, of that. Yeah, John
well,
Travolta, but not back
Travolta.
then.
Yeah. I mean, today it's you wouldn't even hire an actor like that. But in the 50s, 60s, whatever, they're like, what are we going to throw away a perfectly good actor? Put a rug on him. Yeah.
Well, now you can be bald. It doesn't matter. Look at, Jason Statham. No one cares if he has hair or not, or,
Yeah, but
somebody.
he shaves it all. He did a Telly Savalas. You shave it all, and they're like, "Oh, he has hair. He just shaves it." But not when you have the ringlet. I think it's
Oh,
hard.
that George Jefferson swirl
Yeah,
kind. Yeah.
yeah.
That's more aging than completely bald.
Exactly. I think
Yeah, you
that's why
don't
they
want
do
that.
it.
Yeah.
There are many times we catch up with Kojak in the bathroom, and he's shaving his head.
I guess they want us to know that it's quite.
Yeah, he's touching it up.
But I don't think that baldness has the same stigma that it did back then, if it had a stigma.
Right. Yeah, a few times they like in the Joan Van Ark episode, the captain, this ancient guy, Kojak's captain, he's trying to get her to work with Kojak, and she's like, I am not working with that angry bowling ball down there. Like, people occasionally like call him, but I think people today, kids today for sure, Gen Z and beyond, it would be jarring for them to watch a character like Kojak
Yeah,
because the teasing that goes on, the hey fatso, get down there, and or like the ethnic jokes and the occasional slurs all in good fun in air
right,
quotes,
right,
they
right.
don't fly today.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a very different sensibility that comes across on this show, especially. They're very gruff.
Totally. And I think that was the what they considered the authenticity for the time.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Barney Miller did not have that. It's a much softer show. Although a lot of cops said that Barney Miller was the most realistic cop show they've ever seen.
Right, right. And to their credit, Kojak and his squad room do get into a lot of paperwork and stuff, but we're not in the squad room as much.
Yeah, which I
Uh,
appreciate because I like, the best part is seeing New York City at that time, the actual, not a set.
it's true. They were really great with on location shooting. It's just the second unit stuff is great. And they reuse cars turning corners a bunch. And when he's out on a call, the set pieces, like the different storefronts and the mom and pop shops that simply aren't there anymore, and the whole neighborhoods that are gone now, and the burnt out buildings, they're all great to see.
And also, you didn't, it was a New York City that you didn't have to be, super wealthy to live in. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You
You
could live
know,
in the best parts of it
right. I
and be
mean,
an artist.
there was a price to pay, but, a lot of,
Yeah. Danger equals low rent.
right. But, that was the case, and we get to see it. And I love that that's just
Yeah.
forever because there's nothing like it.
No.
Even then, it's got to be a sanitized version because this is still for television, but at least you can see what it actually looked like.
Yeah, it's true. And they probably did rein them in a little bit for TV, but it's amazing how much of it got through, how much grittiness got through.
I
Um,
remember, just things like just watching the facts of life, right? These were four teenage girls, and they were like so holy. I mean, I didn't know any teenage girls who were that pure. So TV, you can't really.
My favorite part of Facts of Life was that one where, to make a point, Edna Garrett basically calls Blair a whore. Oh, come on, you've been with lots of guys. You're a good time, aren't you, Blair?
That's right.
Like, oh, it was hysterical.
I know. So that's just my point that anything you see on TV from that time, you have to assume is very sanitized. So the
Yeah.
fact that this was, as gritty as it was, is amazing because that just wasn't really happening.
Yeah, it's true. They worked hard and they got through enough of it. But once the show was a runaway hit, which it was, the high ratings took care of the rest. The Suits and everybody at Hollywood, they rein in shows as long as they can. But when they're runaway hits, the producers flex their muscles and the Suits back down. Like it's always been that way. Money talks.
Right.
So from that point on, the show was protected. Kojak is such an interesting character because what was truthful about Barney Miller is he goes through a separation and possibly a divorce. They're headed that way because that's what happens to a lot of policemen and detectives and the work. They bring it home and all of these things happen. But normally when a cop is shown in movie and TV, he's got a family. He's got a wife at least.
Right.
And Kojak, they started with this bachelor cop and he'd never been married.
Right.
He loved playing the field and he wears Italian suits. He gets them tailored. Underneath his suit, he wears mesh tank tops
Mesh.
and gold chains.
Yeah.
And he like, you see him and he shaves his head and he's like washing his face. He seldom leaves, but when he does leave, he's going for a date. He's got a girlfriend sometimes. It's fascinating, the character that he is. It's so different from other cops. And you buy it not based on his looks, although he is striking and kind of interesting, but he's got the confidence that's alluring,
Right.
so you kind of buy it. His character is fun.
It is, and it's so unusual, right? Because he's definitely a tough character, but he's also very into his style, and his look is a big part of who he is.
Yeah. And what a voice.
Yeah.
Love you, baby. Just the way he hangs on the words. It's just, it's gorgeous.
And it just looks like he's having the time of his life shooting the show.
It's true. It's true. It's one of those living examples of what they always say of love what you do and you never work a day in your life. You can tell on certain shows, like Barney Miller was another one. These guys love showing up to work. They show up early, they hang out, they see each other after. Like it has that feel to it. And even if it wasn't that way, what a credit to the show that it feels that way.
Yeah. And it makes you want to, hang with this crowd. And that's why you go back every week.
Yeah. The kind of double-edged sword of a show like Kojak is that it's great and it's fun, and you get to like these characters. But if you were a suspect in the real squad room that Kojak is based on, you'd be terrified and you'd be right. It offers us a wonderful distance from it. But they were you could tell when they showed these guys picking up someone, like they made the suspects like extra dirty and greasy and extra kind of like, grody, where you're just like, oh yeah, that's not me. I would never be in it. Look at this guy. He's a lifetime criminal. Like,
Exactly. So you didn't have sympathy for them.
yeah. So it almost made it okay. They got a pass.
I think that a witness or a suspect or somebody in one of the very early episodes was Harvey from Cagney and Lacey. Do you remember him? Tyne Daly's husband.
Can you think of another role he was in? Because I wasn't a big.
I only know him as
I'd know him, I'm sure.
Probably. That was exciting to me. Someone who I'd never seen in anything else. It's just, I love those little discoveries. But this seemed like almost like they cast it from the actor studio. It was so good. Every guest star.
Well, you know what? They probably did. Oh, I see this guy. Harvey Lacey?
Yes.
John Carlin. Yeah, I've seen him around. Oh, that guy was everywhere. But yeah, no, the actors studio, it just kept churning out these people. And it's not that way today, but like back in the day, if you went to the actors studio, you had a life as an actor.
Yeah, right.
They all got work. People you didn't even recognize were sitting in between Brando and, all of these people,
Right.
Geraldine Page and all these people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not surprising.
Yeah, it was when, it was a time when it could be more of an art than a business. It's unfortunate. I don't know what the change was, but it's too bad that it had to be that change because I think there's so much less of a focus on the art itself.
Right. Now, much like my beloved Columbo, Kojak came back for a series of movies in the 80s and just into the 90s. And I just want to read off some of the guest stars. They almost read like stars from the 70s. Angie Dickinson, Marcia Gay Harden, Max von Sydow.
Marcia Gay Harden, how old was she? 3?
She was super young.
Wow.
Max von Sydow, who we sang the praises of not too long ago. Jerry
Yeah.
Orbach.
Wow, wow. That makes total sense. He could have been Kojak.
He could have been, yeah. And Suzanne Plachette,
Oh,
who is everywhere.
oh, her.
I remember a TV movie Suzanne Plachette did in like the early 90s or the 80s, but she was older.
Leona Helmsley, the Queen of Mean?
No, but that was great. That was fantastic. But this one was even sillier. So madcap fun. Gil Gerard worked under her,
Oh.
and he took a job under her, and there was all this kind of like sexual tension, and it was called Help Wanted Male.
That's hilarious. And we didn't do that one yet? I can't believe it.
No, you and I love TV movies.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Love them. They are just
For being home because I was a kid, so I was always home on a Friday night and catching, I guess there was a Friday night movie or something. I don't know. And there was Diary of a Teenage Hitchhiker with Charlene Tilton.
another all-time list. Charlene Tilton.
Oh my gosh.
Love.
That was
Love. She's great. It will not surprise you. I might have even shown you once, but I have that on VHS.
You do?
I do.
Oh
I
my
will actually put the picture up between us
Oh,
in
please.
this episode.
Amazing. And we must have a watch party because I haven't seen it since then.
Oh, good. Yes. I'm sure we can find it streaming.
Yes, that would be amazing.
Okay. Yeah. We'll have to return to that after our Halloween episode. Maybe we'll get back to her.
Oh.
Oh yeah. We'll hitch our way.
She was little like me, so I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Spark plug.
Do you remember she was in an episode of Happy Days where she was in a dance marathon?
Yes. Yes. That's the one where Fonzie like wins it with his like Russian dancing.
Again, another person who was in Knots Landing. What is with Knots Landing in this episode for us?
Everything's coming up Knots Landing.
Can't believe it. And that's never the case in any other situation.
No, I've never mentioned Knots Landing my whole life.
This is more than I've ever talked about Knots.
This is a backdoor pilot for Knots Landing episode of Stream On. So I was wearing my Ramones t-shirt today because it was the most NYC shirt I could think of to
Very
do
much.
Kojak. Anything else about Kojak that comes to your mind before we put Telly to bed?
Could you remake Kojak today? I feel like you could because we've come around and now people like that kind of TV. So I feel like Kojak could get a reboot. What's your take?
I agree. I think it would be tough to cast the lead, though. I mean, I think it would be easier to do Columbo with Mark Ruffalo as Columbo.
Oh.
But I don't know who you'd cast for Kojak. I think what's his name, Chickless. They would shove the commission there.
Oh, they could, or they could just go completely different and maybe change it. He doesn't have to be Greek; it could be something else.
Yeah,
Whatever the actor is that they want for the part.
Yeah, totally.
And it could be, it could be any person. It just,
Kojak with a female lead.
yeah, why not?
I like it.
Queen Latifah was the equalizer.
Who?
Queen Latifah was the equalizer.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I love Queen Latifah. Her movies are underrated. There, I've said it.
What's your favorite Queen Latifah movie?
I forget the name of it, but my favorite one is one with her and LL Cool J. It's a rags to riches sort of story, and it's just so much fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what it sounds like. Trust me,
it
is a good time. There are, you know what, and you know why I like her in her movies. There are so few movies now that you can just be like, you know what, I don't want to cry. I don't want to worry about the way the world is and how fucked the government is. I just want to escape.
Yeah.
There's so few escapist movies these days, and so I appreciate them.
Okay. Well, my favorite Queen Latifah movie is not a feel good. It's Set It Off. I like that one.
Ooh, set it off. That is the ladies who rob a bank. Okay, cool. Is Jada Pinkett
I think
in
Jake
there
is one of
before
them.
she got smithed?
That's right. Before she had that round table show.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I
I
know.
remember her from Gotham. And she has this pinky acting style where every
Oh,
time she
really?
wants to make a point, she raises this finger and she will point it at you to make her point.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not as well schooled on Jada as you are.
I I know what I don't like. But Jada Pinkett Smith has the best moment in Scream 2.
Okay, tell me.
Scream 2 opens up and it's Jada Pinkett and Omar Epps. They're seeing a scary movie. They're seeing one of the stab movies, and they're sitting in their seats. And she's like, "I want to get some popcorn and soda." She puts out her hand for the money, and he's like, "You got money?" She's like, "I got money. I want your money." I got my money. I want your money.
That's
And
fun.
it's such a great line. And then obviously, there's great killings. But anyway, that's my favorite Jada.
So I have an
Um,
obsession that I'm watching. So I'm just putting you on alert because I might ask you to do it, but
okay.
you're into it. I am watching and I can't stop. As soon as we end this, I'm going to go back to it. The new season of Ryan Murphy's Monster. It's the Ed Gein story this time around.
Oh, you don't have to pull my leg and
Yeah.
chop it off
Oh, good.
and skin it and dance in the moonlight. I will definitely be in on that.
Oh my gosh. Of course, Ed Gein looks like a model in this because it's Ryan Murphy, of
Oh
course.
God. Yeah, yeah. Did he
But
make Ed Gein gay?
no, he didn't.
Okay.
Yet anyway, I'm not,
Not yet. Yeah, you're not through it.
but now I watched I mean I looked up pictures of the actual Ed Gein. He wasn't horrible looking. So it's
I've
not
only seen him old.
yeah, he wasn't terrible looking, but he
Yeah.
looked like this guy. This is Charlie Hunnam playing Ed Gein.
Oh, come on.
I know. He looks like, Ed Gein if he were in like,
Well,
GQ.
you know what? I don't know. I've only seen pictures of him when he was arrested. I don't know what his younger. He might have been better looking in his youth, but he looked a little Humphrey Bogart like. He was kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't
I'm not
know.
saying Ed Gein was hot. I'm just saying he
No,
wasn't.
you're saying you want to get down with Ed Gein. I know what you're saying. Yeah,
um,
that's great.
that's a hard no on that one.
Okay, so Ed Gein, monster. Okay,
All right, so put that on your radar
all
because
right.
that's a feel good for the holidays, maybe.
And these are you have to wait, or are they all up and you're binging?
I am through a bunch of them, so I guess they're all up.
Oh, great. Okay, cool.
It's Netflix, so I think they always drop all of them, right?
Yeah. Oh, good. It's on Netflix. Is this like was the first one the Menendez brothers? Or was that a separate thing?
The first one might have been the Menendez brothers.
Because what
Oh, no,
monster?
wait. Was Monster also Gianni Versace? Was that a monster? I don't know. No, that was American Crime Story. He's got all these different series. Maybe
Right.
his brothers was the first one. I'm not really sure.
Oh my God. A fourth season of Monster, currently in development, is based on Lizzie Borden.
Oh, wait, and somebody good is playing her. They announced it. Oh, who is it? I don't remember.
Oh. Episode 1 of the Ed Gein thing is titled Mother.
Laurie Metcalf plays his mother, by the way.
Oh, she's great.
Oh, it's Ella Beatty, who is Warren Beatty and Annette Bening's daughter. She's Lizzie Borden, and she's good.
Wow. That's great. I didn't know
Yes.
they had a kid.
Oh, they've got a bunch of kids, and she's one of
Wow.
she's done lots of theater, and she's great.
They're one of my favorite Hollywood couples.
Yeah, because they seem like a real
They
couple.
seem solid. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Oh, that's so cool.
So she's going to be Lizzie Borden. So that's something to look forward to. So then, do you have all the seasons there? Can you say what the first one was?
Previous, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story.
So that was number one.
No, that was two.
So what
The
was one?
Jeffrey Dahmer story.
Oh, that was good. Did you see
That
that?
was the first season. Believe it or not, I was all Dahmered out by then.
Oh, wait, I have to watch just for Niecy Nash. She's so good in it.
Oh, I love her. Really. I used to watch Clean House all the time just to get some Niecy. Did you
What's
ever see that? Ah,
no?
it was a reality show that Niecy Nash hosted for like, I want to say 4 years or something.
Oh, really?
And it was like, who wants a clean house? And she would go to these people, these hoarders' houses, whose houses were overrun. I should get her here.
Yeah.
And she'd like take some of it and do a garage sale, take some of it and donate it, take others and throw it out, and give these people their house back and make it nice. And she'd gift them seating or flooring, whatever. Like it was like a house improvement show.
Now, did Niecy do it herself, or did she have experts come in, or she has these skills?
She had like, her experts that she would talk to about, well, we want to do this for them, we want to do that. But she was the main host through all of it. She was great. Maybe she left to do Scream Queens. I remember when she was on that as like the security guard.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we love her. So yeah, I'm on board.
she's
Yeah.
great because I think she won an Emmy for this too, for Dahmer. She's so
Okay. All right. I got a lot of monster to get through.
a lot. Yeah.
There's some I wanted to bring up, and this is probably the only chance I'll get. I wanted to ask you,
Yes.
because true crime is so big and
Hmm.
so many people love it, and I was in on the ground floor of true crime before there were anything like a podcast. Me and my friends would just pour over the Zodiac case and all these different Black Dahlia. But anyway, with my favorite murder and how big it is, and Michelle McNamara and her great book. But there's something about it that doesn't sit right with me. And that's the fact that 99 times out of 100, when you're talking about a serial killer,
Hmm.
you're talking about someone who's murdered a woman.
Hmm.
It's very seldom that they make men. That's what was strange about Dahmer. He has such a high body count of men. As a woman, is there something distasteful to you about just how popular and how lurid and how excited people get about true crime when we're really just talking about, oh my God, I'm so excited about the murders of women?
Well, as a woman, I think that women in particular like true crime, and we watch it maybe in a different way that men do. I think a lot of it is a cautionary tale for us, and we learn what not to do in these situations and things like that. I think so. So no, I don't view it that way. Although, after a while it does get to be a lot. But I think that that is a big part of why women like true crime because, we learn from it.
Well, I've wondered about it because sometimes, again, on My Favorite Murder, which is a great podcast with like, stay sexy, don't get murdered. None of the victims that you talk about wanted to get murdered, and some of them were just walking down the street. Death finds you, so it's just, I wanted to get your take because it just, if you're cool with it, I'm cool with it.
The world is a very different place for a woman than it is for a man. Every time you leave your house, you have the potential of being victimized. I mean, everyone does, I guess, but as a woman, you feel more vulnerable to that. I'm sure that you don't think about how people are looking at you. As women, we're taught that we need to be aware of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. I feel too much, Isla. It's my cross to bear.
It's true.
Okay, so we're going to put Kojak to bed. I hope you enjoyed this one more than you thought you would.
I did. I hope we talked about Kojak enough. I took off the rails a bit, but it was fun.
It was freewheeling. We got to be us. And,
That's right. You can't hold me back.
can't do it. Can't stop, won't stop.
That's right.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for joining us.
And we have a really good Halloween episode for next time.
Ooh, yeah, we're going to tee it up. We have an all-time classic coming at you for Halloween. Should we just tell them what it is or should we make them wait?
Why don't you give a very, very, very obvious hint?
The year is one. Hail Satan.
He has his father's eyes.
There it is. If you don't know what it is, you don't deserve to listen. We will see you next time for our Halloween episode. Stay sexy, and who
And
loves you, baby?